Hi everybody, welcome to BI Land. This is definitely a revolutionary feature. Being able to define your own functions can simplify your model significantly, and you'll be able to get much more out of Power BI. Let's see how to use it with a simple example. Here I have my report and model. It is oil statistics in different years for different countries. I have different measurements for oil production: barrels, gallons, cubic feet, etc. I want to create a function that converts other units to cubic meter. How I am going to do it? This is the latest version of Power BI. I have DAX query view and also TMDL view, which is tabular model definition language. Where I'm going to create my function, I'm going to simply use DAX query view, right? Inside DAX query view, what I'm going to do, let's delete all of this. And what I want to do is to define a function that converts all of the units to cubic meter, all of the possible units that I think my report can have in input, right? So to define a function, we use this syntax: define function, right? And then you put a name for your function. Here I'm going to put, it needs to be unique in your model. I'm going to put cubic meter convert, and after the name, you're going to put equal sign. Inside parentheses, you're going to put the parameters that you need. Basically, I need two parameters. My first parameter is going to be oil production, and second parameter is going to be the unit of the oil production, the original unit, right? And after that, you're going to put this sign to define your function. Here, what I want is that depending on the original unit of oil production, I'm going to multiply x by the conversion factor. So here I'm going to use switch function and say that if y, the parameter that I define in my function, is equal to kilobarrels, in that case, I want to multiply x by this number, 158.987. Basically, this means that 1 kilobarrels is equal to approximately 158 cubic meter. What my function is doing, I'm going to put oil production into my function and then give that the original unit is kilobarrels, and it is going to give me the amount in cubic meter. And the second option, here I'm going to put usual units for the oil production. The second option can be simply barrel, and in that case, I want to multiply x by 0.158987, right? Other possibility is going to be gallon. In that case, I want to multiply x by 0.00378,541. And the last option can be cubic feet. In that case, I want to multiply x by 0.0283168, right? Close parenthesis. So now I have my function. Define function, function name, then parameters, then definition of your function. And then I'm going to click in the update model with the changes. Yes, we are going to update our model. So it is going to add this function into your model. You can also see this function here in TMDL. You have this function here, right? Now I'm going to bring into a table. Let's create a visual here. I want to see the oil production per country. In my country table, I'm going to bring the sub-region, and then I'm going to, in my measure table, I have oil production. But this oil production is actually, the unit that we have is kilobarrels per day, but we are going to just ignore per day, right? This is kilobarrels. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new measure. I'm going to call this measure oil production cubic meter. And in this measure, I'm going to use my function. So if I start writing the name of my function, it is going to appear. It wants two parameters. My first parameter is going to be oil production, right? So the oil production. And the second parameter, I'm going to put the original unit. My original unit in this report is kilobarrels, right? So I put kilobarrels, close parenthesis, and hit enter. And now I can bring oil production and cubic meter here, right? And basically this amount that I have here, if you multiply it by 158, it is going to give you this amount. So this is kilobarrels and this is cubic meter, right? So this makes it very simple, because if I know that my input file now it's going to be not in kilobarrels but in gallon, I could just put here gallon, right? If the input file was gallon, then this number was going to be much smaller because my input file was in gallon, right? But it is in kilobarrels, so I'm going to put kilobarrels, right? You can definitely modify this function. So if I, for example, go here and get this function, change accordingly. If I need to add another possibility in my switch function, you can do these modifications. In optional, it would be also adding the type. So I can simply add numeric. It is going to provide you the types that you can put, and also here a string, right? And update again. It is going to update the function. Right, I have my function. You could do it here as well. So if I come here, I have again my function that is working properly. Okay, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you very much and hope to see you again. Bye bye.